So I saw like a discourse. I'm definitely late to this discourse. I mean, I'm usually late to most things. But it was basically this whole discussion on whether love in the birth chart is like signified by Venus or Pluto. And there was essentially like a lot of people were saying Venus because Venus is traditionally associated with love and relationships and like connection and all of that. Like that's what traditionally Venus is said to signify. And so a lot of people were like really like kind of up in arms when this one creator was talking about how Pluto can also be like a significator for like love and stuff. And so to me, like this discourse is so interesting because it really goes to show how like in astrology so often, and it's so many other areas of life, let's be honest, and so many other disciplines, people really like to put things into like little boxes, neat little boxes. And like my point is like I've always kind of seen the birth chart as like intrinsically interconnected, right? Like even if it seems like it's not interconnected, it is. Like so of course Pluto can be about love. Pluto can also be about your desire to like break free from societal norms. Pluto can also be about your emotions. Pluto can also be about like your philosophical outlook, you know? But I would say that the like extent to which things are interrelated in a chart does vary by individuals. Like for some people, it's very obvious that they have like a relationship between like Pluto and Mercury, right? So like maybe their Mercury is in Scorpio and maybe their Mercury is aspecting Pluto, and maybe Pluto is also like somehow related to Mercury. Maybe they've got their Pluto in like Gemini or Virgo or something like that. So it's like in that case, it would be very obvious that there's an interrelation between these two planets. But the thing is, even when it's not obvious, when you think about it, like when you really think about it, when you get into things like aspects and aspect patterns, and you get into like harmonics, there's essentially an infinite number of ways that the planets can contact one another. So therefore, everyone actually has a bit of that interrelation between Mercury and Pluto. It's just varying extents of that interrelation, and it's varying subtleties of that interrelation. And I think this is one of the main things, if not the thing to me, that makes reading a birth chart so difficult, because not only do you have each planetary influence, but you also have the houses to consider, you have the signs to consider, of course, but then you also can get into like things like asteroids, you have the nodal axis, you have the angles, the four angles, and then you have this element of interrelation beyond just like aspects and aspect patterns, right? And so it's like you have all this information, you have a ton of information in the birth chart. And I think like astrologers that are really kind of have perfected their craft are very, they're able to just go into this like huge vast amount of information that they have and like pick out the kind of key points. But really if you think about it, like a birth chart reading could actually in theory go on forever because there's an infinite number of things that you could consider, really. And I will also add as a final note, I think that the ability of an astrologer to see the interconnectedness in a chart between all these different factors, and the multiplicity of things, and just how like the extent of that, their ability to pick up on that, is kind of what actually I think allows you in a way to make very like hyper specific predictions, like predictions that are not necessarily like indicated by the archetypes of the chart alone, right? Like it's like you can pinpoint like specific things that aren't necessarily in the chart, but it's like your ability to like see stuff on another level allows you to like tap into that. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.